a $700 Japanese bargain bike, followed by $1,495 in repairs within 3 months. Suddenly, dealers' cheap motorcycles aren't such a deal. Beneath every low sticker hides a minefield, fuel tank rust, carb failures, and even $300 surprises in brakes alone. Are these bargains quietly draining riders dry? And can anyone truly beat the odds? Let's uncover exactly where the true cost begins. The ad headline promised a steal: a late 90s Honda CB, just $700, cash in hand. The buyer, hoping for a quick win, signed the bill of sale on a chilly Saturday in March. The VIN and odometer and the words "as is, no warranty" were scrawled in blue ink. The receipt, stamped and initialed, looked official enough. For a brief moment, it felt like beating the system. But the first ride ended with a sputter. Within days, the fuel tank revealed its secret: flakes of rust clogging the petcock and starving the engine. The first repair bill landed: $405 for a tank flush and carburetor rebuild, parts and labor. By week 3, and the bike would not hold a charge. The shop's invoice, $370, listed a new stator and battery, and included a note about corroded connectors. Each fix brought a fresh receipt, each one signed and dated. The ink barely dry before the next problem surfaced. Brakes seized next. The mechanic's estimate, $450, covered new calipers, pads, and a master cylinder rebuild. Every expense came with a line item, a subtotal, and another dent in the budget. In just under 3 months, the repair stacked up to $1,495, more than double the original price. The stack of receipts told a story in numbers: $700 to buy, $1,495 to keep it running. Hopes of a bargain faded with every charge to the card, every call from the shop, every new line on the ledger. For this buyer, the math was inescapable. The deal was not just cheap, it was costly in ways that only receipts can prove. Compression readings don't lie. On the shop floor, an independent mechanic clamps the gauge to a cold cylinder, and it reads 110 pounds per square inch, well below the healthy threshold. That single number means a valve job, not a quick fix. 7 out of 10 bikes in this price range show similar results, and each one brings its own repair bill. Fuel system failures top the list. Rusted tanks, clogged petcocks, and gummed up carbs add $300 to $600 before a single mile is logged. Charging system issues arrive almost as quickly. Stator replacements and fresh batteries run $350 to $500, with OEM parts often back-ordered for weeks. Wiring harnesses, brittle from age, short out, and demand $150 to $400 for patching or replacement. Brakes seize from years of neglect, and a full rebuild, including calipers, pads, and the master cylinder, costs $250 to $450. Fork seals and suspension leaks appear by the 3rd month, adding another $200 to $500. Tires, chains, and wheel bearings round out the first 6 months, stacking $300 to $700 more onto the ledger. The mechanic's verdict is blunt: expect $800 to $1,500 in the first 90 days. That's if you're lucky. Each category brings its own timeline and cost window, but together they add up fast. The receipts don't just list parts, they map out why so many cheap bikes wind up back on the market, still broken, still looking for the next hopeful buyer. Dealers do not slash prices out of generosity. The math behind those bargain listings starts with floor plan financing, a system where every unsold bike racks up daily interest, sometimes $10 to $50 per unit. When a model sits unsold past 90 or 120 days, the cost compounds. Curtailment schedules kick in, demanding lump sum payments or risk of loan recall. For a mid-range Japanese bike, a dealer might face $250 a month just to keep it on the floor. The pressure to clear inventory grows relentless as the ledger turns red. Internal memos from one regional distributor spell it out: acceptable dealer casualties 15 to 20% annually. Liquidate at cost to preserve allocation. When the numbers stop working, liquidation channels open. Some bikes are marked down for quick retail sales, but the real volume moves through auctions and bulk wholesalers. At auction, recovery rates plummet. Dealers might see just 40 to 70% of original value, sometimes as low as 18% on older, slow-selling models. A former dealer puts it bluntly: Boss says, move inventory or we are closing. 30 years in business cannot end like this. The calculation is not about profit anymore. It is about survival. Every day a bike sits, the interest eats away at margin. By the time these bikes land on classified sites for a fraction of their manufacturer's suggested retail price, the original owner has already accepted the loss. The dealer's pain becomes the buyer's apparent gain, at least on paper. But the real cost is still lurking in the fine print and the repair shop's waiting room. A different story unfolds when the right boxes are checked before the handshake. One buyer spotted a Suzuki GS500 listed for $950. No rust on the tank, a stack of service records, and a clean title in the seller's name. Before any cash changed hands, a compression test delivered 150 pounds per square inch across both cylinders, well above the danger zone. The seller produced receipts for a recent valve adjustment and chain replacement dated just 2 months earlier. Instead of hidden problems, the only work needed was a new set of tires and a fresh oil change. The bill for parts and shop labor came to $200, itemized and saved. The bike ran reliably through spring and summer, clocking up weekend miles without a single warning light or roadside call. 3 months later, with the market heating up, the buyer listed it online with photos of the service records and a clear vehicle identification number. Within a week, the GS500 sold for $2,200, paid in full, with the new owner shaking hands over a notarized title transfer. Every step was documented: compression numbers, maintenance receipts, and a legal paper trail. The math was simple this time: $950 to buy, $200 to maintain, $2,200 out the door. In the world of cheap Japanese motorcycles, a careful pre-purchase inspection and clean paperwork can turn a would-be gamble into a genuine win. A quick stop at the parts counter can turn into a waiting game. For a late 90s Honda or Suzuki, an OEM stator or carb kit often sits on back order. 2 weeks if you are lucky, 6 weeks if the warehouse is empty. The parts clerk checks the screen, shakes his head, and offers an aftermarket option, 35% cheaper, but with a catch. 20 to 30% of those fail within the first 90 days. According to mechanic shop logs, the gamble is not just about money. It is about time lost, rides missed, and repairs that never seem to end. Even with the right part in hand, paperwork can throw up its own roadblocks. At the DMV, a missing title or a salvage brand means extra forms and hundreds in fees. Some buyers spend $500 to $2,000 just to clear a title, waiting months for approval. And for every 10 bikes sold at a steep discount, one carries an odometer that has been rolled back. The risks run deeper than a wrench can reach, hidden in supply chains, legal files, and the fine print of every bargain. A hard rule cuts through the noise. If estimated repairs in the first 3 months look like they will top 40% of the purchase price, walk away. For a $700 bike, that means $280 is the upper limit. Any more, and the math flips against you. This is not guesswork. Receipts from real shops and buyer logs show a pattern. Once early repairs go past that threshold, most owners never catch up. The hidden costs snowball, and what seemed like a bargain becomes a drain. A checklist can tip the odds. Start with a cold compression test. Look for numbers above 120 pounds per square inch. Scan for rust in the tank and check the petcock for clogging. Demand a clear signed title and match the VIN on every document. Ask for recent service receipts, not just promises. Test the charging system with a voltmeter. Readings under 13 volts spell trouble. Spin the wheels, check the chain, and squeeze the brakes for smooth operation. If any of these red flags pop up, or if the seller dodges questions, do not negotiate, just leave. The best deals are the ones you can walk away from when the numbers do not add up. Today, as dealer inventory pressures intensify, more budget bikes hit the market with costly secrets beneath their price tags. Every deal comes with hidden risks, and for buyers, vigilance matters more than ever. The real cost of ownership is not on the sticker. It is in the story that follows. Share your own experiences below.